Hello, everyone who is going to pop in with me on tonight's live video transmission here in our new home, Asheville. Centering into this moment and all of the beautiful beloveds who feel inspired to come in and be a part of this message. So, something I've been sharing about is destiny mapping, right? You've heard me talk about this before. That being said, a new kind of understanding of what this can become is really dropping in as more and more parents are feeling inspired to get their children's destiny map and to really understand the unique nature of every single being. So one thing that I think that we can all resonate with is that, and I'm just seeing here for a moment because I want to be sure I have the right settings up for people to come in and me to see them, because I'm not seeing any activity that I normally see. Oh well, trusting the perfection of it all. That being said, one thing that drops in and I experience in my work with adults and I experience within my own life, and I'm sure that you yourself have experienced this if you're in an adult body or you have witnessed other people saying this, is a lot of our healing journey is deconditioning and unprogramming the beliefs and thoughts and patterns and expectations and programs ultimately that we picked up from our parents. So a lot of our adult life, for those of us who are actively doing the deeper inner healing work, becoming the best version of ourselves, removing limitations to our success, to thriving, to being the best version of ourselves that we're here to be, is a big piece of that. And one of the biggest pieces of that actually is unprogramming everything that we picked up from our parents. The being that we were shaped into based on our parents. And it's not that our parents are bad and wrong. Our parents are amazing people. They're humans though, and they're on a karmic journey of healing. And we really didn't understand energy the way that we do right now. And we're really only grasping the surface of what we're going to be learning in the next years to come about what the human species is capable of. So all of our parents were doing the absolute best. For those of us who were born before the 2000s, right? And the children who are coming on now, parents are recognizing that there is an energetic principle to parenting. There is a deepening of awareness about our projection of our beliefs and, instilling beliefs of lack or fears or limitations or unworthiness and all the things that, we're all collectively unraveling. So I share the story about my own personal journey with this, being a projector. And for those of you who are not fluent in the language of human design, that's totally fine. Just understanding that we have these different energetic types. And before I go into my story, let me just share with you, we have these different energetic types, and all of our types are meant to come together like a perfect synthesis, to work together, to grow together, to support each other. And when we're living by our type, by our unique energy, then we will be in harmony with others. We will play our unique role in the cosmic story. So I like to describe it like the process of bringing a book to life, where manifestors have the idea for the book, the generators write the book, the projectors edit the book, and the reflectors read the book. And you can see how these four types, when they are embodying their highest experience, they're living together in harmony and supporting each other, and all the pieces come together. Well, what happens is we get programmed by other types, particularly by the types of our parents, by their energy, by the way that they operate in the world. And if that is the same type as ours, well, that might be serving. a lot of times that's not the case, or a lot of times there are deeper things that our parents are working through and growing through that we don't recognize, or they don't recognize, is not necessarily their child's journey to step into. So I like to share the story about my experience having been raised by a manifesting generator, which is the most electrical, super powerful energy, and I'm a projector, a non-energy type, where I was, in a life experience as a child of working very hard. I got my first job, like paid job, when I was 15, and before then I started working on a horse farm so that I could ride every day that I worked there. I also was a full-time student playing two like full-on sports every season. So between the job at the horse farm, the job at the grocery store, and my school, and two full-time sports, like I was playing all year round in school and in extra, like outside of school. I can't remember the name, it's not coming to me right now. That being said, there was so much activity all the time, go, 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 and my body was constantly struggling. I was in physical therapy throughout all of high school because I was always in pain, always aching. I experienced adrenal fatigue very young, and all of these, little teeny tiny things kept showing up that I'm now in the process of healing. And a big piece of me stepping into success in life was recognizing, like, whoa, I picked up this manifesting generator program that's go, 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 work, 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 do, 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 that has the energy to do that. And I was burning myself out slowly and actually making my body sick and my brain very confused from, not having proper nutrients and becoming very foggy. And, it was well-intentioned on my parent behalf because, they just wanted the best for me, to have fun and play and have all these opportunities, but not realizing that the way that that was going was not possible for my body to keep up with, which is why I was constantly having issues with, digestion and energy and clarity and getting injured and all these things that now are a big part of my life and healing. And it's funny, actually, I think it was maybe 2 years ago, I was home with my dad, who's the manifesting generator, and he works from home and I work from home. So when I was there, we were both working at the house, and my work day was going out into nature, going to play my crystal bowls, having one call with a client, possibly checking my email. And he came upstairs into the kitchen when I was like, I don't know, 11 a.m. waking up to go and do my nature walk and have my little cacao. And he's like, how do you work? Like, how do you just go and sit in nature all day and just, relax? Like, don't you have all this energy that you just like need to be working? And I was like, no, that's not at all how I operate. That's so perfect for you and how your energy operates, but that's not my strategy. That's not how I become successful as a projector in this world. So it took years of unraveling and deconditioning those programs for how I was conditioned to really show up and live in this world. And I'm not the only one, a lot of the work that I'm doing with adults is helping them to see, okay, this is your destiny map. This is your purpose. These are your unique gifts. And now let's see all the spaces, all the ways that you are not living to that truth, where you are not sharing that gift because of whatever programs you picked up from your family, from your teachers, from the people around you. So as enlightened parents, as conscious parents, it is one of the most important things to grasp. First and foremost, human design can change the reality of your relationship with your child and help your child so much, like understanding how they uniquely digest food, understanding how their energy works, understanding when they're energized and when they need nourishment, understanding their emotions and how their mind is functioning. Like, these things can be revolutionary game changers in how you show up to guide and support as a parent or as an advocate or as a teacher, right? Understanding that every single being has an energetic grid that they are playing out and living life through, and that it is very different than our own grid. Now, in the way that we were operating in the world in the last, century has been, cookie cutter models of how you parent, how you live, how you grow, and everyone fits within this cookie cutter this box framework of what is normal and how we operate in the world. And everyone has been pushed into these roles to fit into this cookie cutter mold. So now we're on this process of like recognizing, oh, wait, you know, maybe I don't want to be a square. Maybe I want to be an octagon or a tetrahedron or a star, or, you know, I'm just using the shape analogy because we've all been put into a box, and we're recognizing, oh, it's time for me to realize that we're not all squares. Some of us might be, but we're not all squares. So our journey has been breaking down the walls of that box and breaking down all of the boundaries that we set up in that square to start to realize what our unique shape is, what our unique geometry is, what our unique auric imprint is, and all of our gifts within that. And as we've been unraveling that as adults and deconditioning all those programs, we come up to the beliefs. You know, a lot of times when I'm working with people on their money story, and when I was working on my money story, it was like, okay, what did your parents say to you about money? What did your parents say to you about work? What did your parents say to you about food, about all these things that are so deeply important to our health and our thriving in life? You know, we have to go back to the patterns that we picked up from our parents and recognize which ones are serving our highest and best, and which ones were serving not necessarily our highest and best, but are amazing programs for our parents to continue to play out, right? Because that's their unique gifts to play in the world. Another way that this can show up is, say a child is born and they have this absolute brilliant, unique gift to be a master architect of sculptures made of glass, right? They have this unique gift, and these sculptures made of glass will like just open people's hearts when they see them. And they're born into a family that is very logically oriented and very focused on the importance of math and science and structure. And that creative spark starts to get pressed down, and his parents are pressuring by essentially sharing their agenda, their beliefs, their expectations of what they want their child to become based on their own unique gifts. Maybe they're brilliant accountants or brilliant lawyers, right? Things that are very, you know, logic-based or analytical, and they're brilliant at that. So they want their child to be brilliant at that. So the intention is pure, right? Only wanting the best for their child, while not recognizing that their child has something spectacular, something brilliant, a gift within them that is theirs to discover. Right? So when we create this strict box, say this child now is, you know, put into tutoring with a math person and, you know, really gets very structured in understanding logic and mathematics and science and all the things that their parents really, really wanted them to be great at. And they end up getting all the way through high school and really take barely any art classes, and they get to the end of the year when they're in, you know, their junior or senior year, and all the schools come to your school, right? Your universities all come in, and this is, you know, I'm talking this from a traditional path because it's the easiest metaphor for us to all understand. So they come in and all the schools are there, and this child, you know, is going to all the schools that are very good at logic and analytics and mathematics and all the things that they had been conditioned to believe were important. And then all of a sudden, they see one of their friends at another booth. So they go over to say hi to their friends, and it's for this amazing art school that specializes in sculpting. And there's something inside this child that bubbles up, an excitement, a joy, a connection, a yearning. And the thought comes in, gosh, my parents would kill me if I ever applied to a school like this. Or I would never be allowed to go to a school like this. And that spark, that excitement that rises up in them is again pushed down because it doesn't fit the box that they were conditioned to believe is the way that you operate and be successful in this world. So why now going into understanding the value for a parent or another being to understand the destiny map, the blueprints of our unique energy and our purpose and our gifts. Like, this is not only for parent-child, this is for relationships. This is for friendships. This is for, people who are in your mastermind group, right? Recognizing that in this world, we're projecting our lens, our beliefs, our experiences outwards onto others. And as we recognize that, we're projectors, we're sending this energy out into the world, and we're sharing based on our conditioning, then our advice might not be the best for someone else. A big way that I've seen this is I've actually had projectors come in and have their destiny map session done with me, and they're not experiencing success in their business. And they tell me they've done all these business courses, they've worked with these business mentors, and these business mentors were operating from a generator role. From this is how you become successful as a generator. And I, highlighted within them in their map that as a projector, you're not going to be successful the way a generator is successful, or a manifester is successful, or a reflector is successful. So understanding that even as coaches and guides and facilitators and teachers in the world, like knowing who your clients are, what their unique makeup is invaluable for how you can uniquely guide them. I had this amazing woman who I took her courses, and she teaches sales, and she's really incredible. And, we were emailing back and forth, and in her email, I shared I was a projector and all these things, and she responded back like, yeah, I recently started working with projectors, and she's I think a manifesting generator, and she's like, y'all just work differently. And she started to see that and understand that and adopt how she was translating her message, how she was teaching in those moments to projectors, because she recognized that her go, high energy wasn't going to be the same way that a magnetic projector is designed to reach success. So it allowed her to actually be an even greater facilitator for her clients. So it's not only beneficial for parents to understand the child's destiny map and blueprint, right? Understanding how your beautiful, unique gift of a being on this planet that you are the guardian and the steward and the mentor and the guide and the teacher for, understanding how you can uniquely guide them through understanding their energetic template, their gifts, their strategy, their purpose, their direction in life, and understanding how yours is different from theirs and how it's the same. The areas where you're meeting in harmony and friendship, right? All of the areas where we meet in friendship are the areas that we meet in our similarities within our destiny map, right? So understanding those similarities can help to grow in greater harmony in the relationships. And then understanding the differences, this is so important for not projecting our conditioning onto another being and molding them to be like us when their design is completely the opposite, which actually just sets us up to create experiences where we have to unravel, uncondition, unprogram all that we picked up from that parent or that teacher or that guide or that coach. And I'm looking behind me because we just had little ones banging at the door. So to just give you a little bit of an insight into what really happens within our destiny mapping experience, like what is this blueprint holding for us? Because it is a journey through our unique energy, our aura, how our unique, I like to call it our circuit board, the circuit board for your house that has all the switches and all the flips, and they all have to be at the right position in order for all the electricity in the house to be possible. And if one of those switches gets clicked to the other side, like that electricity is not going to work. So we have an electrical circuit board because everything is energy. We're all energetic beings. And knowing when we thrive, when all of our circuits are on and we're fully in our, light up electric grid activated template of our soul, then our life is such a more effortless, easeful, flowing space. But when something gets switched or another program gets put in to override our own programming, that's when things become challenging. So in destiny mapping, in this blueprint, we look at our first and foremost human design that is that electrical circuitry, that is our aura and our unique energy and how we operate in the world. And we bring in our gene keys and in our astrology to really create a holistic picture of why we're here, how we can stay in alignment with our truth and not the truth of everyone else. Because the more and more that we live from a space of misalignment, and this is so important to understand as humans who want to be in harmony with each other, as humans who are striving to actively end violence and end separation and end war and end all the things that have created a disturbance and a paradigm of fear on this planet. In order for us to really harness that and pull that in, it means that we all must live in alignment first and foremost within ourselves. Because when we're living from a place of misalignment, every single person that we interact with is brought into misalignment with us in that exchange. Right? This is so important to really understand. So as we bring ourselves into alignment and live through our strategy, live through our unique energy, and have clear boundaries of recognizing when an invitation that's coming in is not actually in our highest and best to be involved with, or when a belief and a story and an action and an idea is coming in that's not actually ours to implement or to believe. Right? When we recognize this, then we stay in alignment, and everyone that comes into our field is brought into alignment with us. So we become a force for change through staying in alignment and understanding who we are. And I personally dream and vision, and I'm actively pursuing and supporting the creation of a world where we live in harmony, where we see the end of suffering and the awakening of peace. And I feel that that happens through us really devoting ourselves to human relationships, how we relate to each other, how we communicate to each other, and how we guide and navigate the future generations, right? The children. How we support them. And how we do that is through first and foremost understanding ourselves, and then how we influence the people in our lives, and most importantly, the children that are in our lives. And it's not only your children that are your offspring, it's also the children that you're engaging with when you go to the shopping store and a child locks eyes with you, or you go to an event and there are children there, right? We impact everyone that's in our aura. Everyone that's in our aura. And our aura, depending on how much energy work we do on ourselves, is either, a few feet around us or up to 40, 50 feet around us. Some auras I've encountered were like 100 feet. So every single being that's brought into that aura is impacted by that energy. Right? So our alignment, and then bringing people into the world who are fundamentally aware of their truth. When children and when we as adults pick up other people's programs, other people's stories, other people's beliefs, other people's ways of creating and being and living in this world, it fundamentally brings us out of alignment, and it creates a trauma in our system. Not all trauma is a physical blow or an emotional blow or something that is recognized as a traumatic event. Trauma to our system is anything that brings us out of alignment, because it shapes how our energy flows. And then that creates things that happen in our body, primarily in our gut or in our brain. We start to get foggy and unclear, or we start having weird experiences with food and how we're digesting our reality. Right? So when we're digesting, taking in information that's not actually in alignment with our truth, it greatly impacts our digestive system. So if you have a digestive system that is not fully functioning to its highest and best, and this is something that I have worked so hard, it's been one of my greatest growth lessons, is, really healing my digestive system, because I struggled with it for all of my childhood and all of my early adult years, because I was digesting information, digesting a life that was not mine to be living, and that backed up everything in my system and created a lot of pain and disassociation and lack of clarity. that took years, and I'm still in the process of unraveling. It's like, you know, the magician, when he has the hat, he's just pulling out the ribbon, it keeps pulling, right? That's the process we go through when we've been conditioned to fundamentally live out of alignment with our truth. And that, remember, this is not bad on anyone, right? There's nothing wrong with this process that has happened. It's simple. Everyone was doing the best given the amount of information that they had, given the amount of awareness that we had at the time of energy, of these different dynamics that make us unique. So now that we have more information, more wisdom, more tools, more strategies, more technologies, more this blueprint, right? This blueprint that shares with us our exact unique makeup. There's no more excuses for programming people into roles that are not their truth. They're showing up and saying, hey, you know what? It's one of the greatest investments in my life and in my child's life to understand our unique energy imprints. It's one of the greatest investments between myself and my partner to understand our unique energetic makeup and how our relationship comes together. Or in business partnerships. Or in your, like I said, your mastermind, your friends, like the people that you are exchanging energy with the most and ideas with the most, and you know, really weaving your energy with. It's so important for us to really know ourselves and each other. And destiny mapping is an incredible blueprint to do that. You know, it's really, it's the lightning path. It is the absolute fastest way that I have come to find to in a crystal clear way, deliver truth, the unique brilliance of an individual being. And I'm in a place now where within 2 hours, someone is absolutely crystal clear on why they're here, how their energy works, where they're out of alignment, how they can bring themselves back into alignment, because it's that clear. And you know, this dynamic, this conversation is so important to be having right now, because we are at a time that our human essence, right? The essence is the spirit of human, right? The human essence is inviting us to evolve, to step into a greater sense of harmony and peace and love and connection. And this is one tool of clarity that can really bridge that. And you know, for the parents out there who are watching this, who have questions, you know, please leave them in the comments or send me messages. Or for the couples out there, or the business partnerships, or just the individual beings who have questions on this and who want to know more, who want to live in integrity and harmony and raise the best beings on the planet that we can raise, and be the best beings on the planet that we can be, so that we can all awaken our unique genius and spread our unique geometry in the world, so we stop living in a box and we start living in a multidimensional reality, which is our truth, right? Where all of our unique pieces come together and create this beautiful tapestry, right? So for those parents who are interested in this, you know, we're doing a children's group destiny mapping again in next weekend, so not this weekend, the following weekend. So I'll drop the link for that, or you can send me a private message. For anyone else who's very interested in this, doing it one-on-one or having a group or couples experience, you know, you can send me a message as well, and we can dive into that. The next group session that we're doing is for kids, though I do have a couple adults who are wanting their destiny map in a group setting, because it is a more affordable investment to do that way. Then you can send me a message about that as well too. That being said, you know, this is what I'm super passionate about. I could share about this process, this blueprint, forever. And you know, I've had 3-hour conversations without draining any energy, just streaming this information through, because it activates something within people. And you know, it wouldn't be to this point in its evolution where people are now going to be starting to be trained to facilitate this if it wasn't grounded and solidified and bringing through absolute crystal clear value, where I can say with absolute truth that in 2 hours or less, you will be so clear on your purpose, on why you're here, on your alignment, on your gifts, on where you're out of alignment, how you can have more harmonious relationships with everyone in your life, including your children or your parents, all of this is possible. So that's what I wished to share with you. The excitement and the joy and the clarity and the information, so that you can make the decisions for yourself, right? On how you want to show up for your life and for your children's life and for your partner's life and for your coworker's life and for your team member's life and for your best friend, your soulmate's life, right? If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If they're personal, always send me a private message. I'd love for you to join any of the group experiences. As I said, the next one that's happening is for parents and kids, because like when we, like, I get so excited about a world where children are not imprinted in a way that they grow up as wounded children in adults' bodies. And then those adults spend their creative years just unraveling all those programs and like all the unworthiness and all the scarcity and all the lack that comes when they're constantly suppressing their truth, suppressing their uniqueness, suppressing their brilliance. Like a world where we're all just open and expansive and tapped into our genius and have a support container of our family that really recognizes who we are and knows how to uniquely guide us towards our highest and best instead of telling us what to do, right? That is a world that I know we will see. There is a timeline of that. I am a part of it. Everyone who's listening to this is a part of it, because you're all actively saying, okay, yes, pulling the pieces together, making the information concrete. Yes, this is valuable. Yes, this is the future I want to be a part of. So how are you going to show up and receive it and create those internal shifts within yourself to be a part of creating that future? I love you all so very much. Thank you for your time and your energy and your presence. Please share this video if you have friends or family members or no other parents who would resonate with understanding why this is so valuable. And again, if you have any questions, please, I'm an open book. Send me a message. I appreciate you all. I hope that you have an amazing day or evening wherever you're at in the world. Until the next time that we meet in virtual time and space, so much love, so much gratitude. May we rise together and gift our presence to this earth. Much love to you all.